Yo.
The infamous sweater makes a return.
Yeah, you already know. You already know what it is. Didier Drogba didn't get a haircut,
Oh my days.
so you already
The
know.
fact that you knew, the fact that you knew when I messaged in the group chat that you're stupid, the fact that you knew what I was talking about, that just made it 10 times better.
Oh yeah.
See, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course. I was dying. I'm like, first of all, why doesn't this guy have a picture of himself? Like now it's just getting concerning, bro. Like you couldn't find a picture of yourself. Man had to
Yeah.
use a next
What do
man,
you,
bro. Pause that.
yeah, we're gonna pause, bro. Like
So,
minute of silent pause if we have to. But bro, what do you mean, bro? This is the
minute of
influence.
silence for DDA because Chris Wood's about to beat his record.
Bro, ain't nobody out here. You see what I'm saying? That's the influence of a legendary striker, bro.
Oh.
When you grow up wanting to be, play just like him, right? So,
Mm-mm,
but no one's trying to play like Chris Wood. Let's get
mm-mm,
that straight,
mm-mm,
right? There's no kid out there in England anywhere, right,
mm-mm,
that's trying to play like Chris Wood.
mm-mm.
So yeah, and
That
I
got
think
you real fucked up, eh?
shit, man. I mean, now like I'm watching no Forrest's game, thinking like, oh man, this guy's gonna come for the guy's record. But look, where
Oh.
was he at? Where was he at this weekend? That's the big question.
So, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we had our predictions at the beginning of the season, and we made a, little post on Instagram. So, I had a picture of myself at the stadium, the Arsenal Stadium. CJ had a picture of himself, at the Arsenal Stadium, and of course, um, Laurent, aka I have a Chelsea jersey, and I'm using air quotations. Instead of using a picture of himself, use a picture of the legendary Didier Drogba. And like I said to him before we started recording, I've watched him play. He does not play like DDA. He does not play like DDA at all.
Ooh, Laurent?
Yeah. Like if you're gonna post a picture of next man's, you better play like them, you know? You I don't even want to tell you who you play like, you know?
They're trying to say Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson.
Nicholas Jackson.
Mm,
But to your point, he was wanted by Bayern. He's going to Bayern, you know?
mm.
Um,
No, best of luck to him.
yeah.
Best of luck to him.
Before we get to the like nitty-gritties of this pod, can I just say episode 40, um, we made it, fellas. 10 away from you know, the big 5-0.
Mm.
Um
And 60 away from the big Centurion.
Ah.
maybe at the 100th episode we'll see you in a Chelsea kit. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh man.
Oh my days. All right. I don't even want to entertain that nonsense. Arsenal. Um, yeah, Arsenal. They lost to Liverpool, um, 1-0. Stunning free kick by Dominik Szoboszlai. Absolutely insane. There's a lot of questions to be had about the starting lineup. There's a lot of questions to be had about how Szoboszlai got that free kick because I think Zubamendi was a little
Mhm.
naive, like it was a tactical foul. But I think when you really rewatch, and I watched the game again today from start to finish.
Oh yeah?
I did, because I really wanted to understand why I'm not upset, why I don't really have any um like I was more reactive after our first game against United. And this game, I was just like, okay. Like I didn't really have any emotion. I want to rewatch it to see why. Um, some of my takeaways from rewatching it. First half, we absolutely dominated Liverpool. I don't care what anybody says. We dominated them. That midfield that we came out with, it was very pragmatic. I think Liverpool were caught off guard by the physicality in the midfield, and I think we dominated them. I think we could have attacked Szoboszlai a little bit more, and you saw from the first kick, Declan Rice kicked it right.
What was that, bro?
Yeah, kicked it out right towards Szoboszlai to put the pressure on him right away. Right, so you knew that that's where they were going. Started off well, faded too quickly with Martinelli. Um, I think one of the reasons why Eze didn't start is because Arteta knew Szoboszlai was going to play there, and he wanted that pace in behind and put more pressure on Szoboszlai so that if he wants it to come in the middle, he has to think about that space behind him. Um, no creativity in the midfield at all. I think that's one of my that's one of the points that I had watching it again. But it was very pragmatic and it worked. What I would have loved to see and watching it again, it really made more sense. What I would have loved to see is Eze come on right at the second half for Martinelli because you could just see he has zero confidence. His defensive work rate when he pops up and he's supporting Calafiori, he's supporting the midfielders, coming back, tracking back Mo Salah, tracking Verts, like that stuff, like hands down, that's the stuff that Laurent talks about. There's no skill in that. There's absolutely no skill in that. It's all about work rate. It's all about how much do you want it. And I think Martinelli has that. But going the other way, he's not there. And I think he would do well with a loan, which obviously the transfer window is closed now, but I think he would do well with a loan just to get his confidence up a little bit. Um,
Saudi window's still open.
Yeah, Saudi window's still open. Um, but like again, second half, I think up until the 60th minute, we still dominated. The XG, all the stats that you want to look at. Of course, Laurent's going to be like, well, the main stat doesn't go to Arsenal's way. Yeah, of course. But when you look at the context of the entire game, stats were even. Both teams didn't want to lose, and you saw that with Liverpool. They were also playing very pragmatic. Um, I just think we waited a little too long, and that's where I think Arteta was a little naive. And I don't even know if naive is the right word to use, but that's the only word that comes to my mind. I think, like we said, what I don't know if CJ said that, but well, like what I said if you want to win the Prem, you have to go there and make a statement. You made a statement in the first half because I don't think Liverpool have been controlled like that by any team in many years, especially at Anfield. In the first half, we were able to dictate everything. Yes, they had their spells, but overall, we dictated a lot of the first half. Second half is when you gotta up the ante. Makes a boss lie think differently, right? We all know that play with Martinelli, and I was literally screaming at the TV at the bar, and I'm like, "You are not Brazilian. Like, check that man's passport. You're not fucking Brazilian, bro." And you guys both know what I'm talking about. That breakaway. Like, if that was an Eze, even if it was a Madueke, easy cross, you know? Um, and something that's kind of going under the radar is how does one Yeri feel that Max Dowman is coming on before him? The next star boy is already overshadowed by Max, you know? Um, but yeah, I'm not upset. Bravo to Szoboszlai. Um, Bravo to Liverpool for getting it done. I think a draw would have been a fair result. But when you score a free kick in the manner which they did, it was unreal. Like it was the perfect kick. I think Zubamendi was naive fouling him there because he wasn't going anywhere, right? You don't give great teams, great players, world class players free kicks 30 yards out, 40 yards out. You don't do that. Yeah, that's enough out of me. CJ, what's what's your what's your takeaway from the game?
Mm, well, I feel I'm definitely annoyed, like in terms of post game reaction, post game feeling, and I tried to see if 24 hours later if there would be like a little bit of a calm down, but I'm still just annoyed, man, because they were there, they were there for the taking. In terms of I actually prefer instead of me having like a whole little bit of a 2 or 3 minute monologue on my assessment of the game, I prefer to have it more like open dialogue style, right? So I want to say some things that's gonna get a reaction or rebuttal from you guys, because you guys may disagree with what I'm gonna say, and I want to challenge you guys and ask you guys open-ended questions, right? And I think it's important to dissect this game properly if we're gonna do it that way. And one thing I want to say to you guys first and foremost is like, why you guys questioned me, right? I came with chess, whatever last podcast, like all fun and games, all jokes, whatever, shook ones. We're gonna come in on smoke, and at the end of it, I predicted a draw, which caught you guys off guard based on the way I was reacting. So there's two things, right? There's my heart and my head, and this is what I talk about when I say like a lack of emotional response. I don't predict games based on emotion. I predict it based on what I genuinely feel, right? My head is speaking to me. And that is because I know my team and I know this manager truly, bro. You know what I mean? Like we had the capabilities to win this game. That's what my heart and my even my head will say that. Like, bro, you spent 1 billion. You just bought in one of the best attacking midfielders in the league in Eze. Let it all work out and all this stuff, right? Crying and tears and bring the boy home, and then he doesn't play. And when I say that we had the capabilities to go and win this game, because we 100% did, right? When I put that aside of what we can do versus what I know we will do, that was one of the biggest things I said to you guys when you guys were asking me, well, why do you predict the draw in the end? Because I know what we can do, but what we will do and what this manager will do, he's going to set up for a draw. And it almost panned out that way. Which, by the way, a draw at Anfield is not a bad result, right? That's why I predicted the draw, because you saw that game was headed in that direction. And if it wasn't for that moment of magic from Szoboszlai, that game was headed for a draw. And honestly, it almost looked like Liverpool was content with that draw as well, the way
Mm-hmm.
they were with the way they were playing,
Yep.
which is what disappointed me even more. They're at home, right? They have the impetus, they have a fully fit squad, they have all their attacking players out on the pitch, and it's like we didn't do no, we pretty much didn't bend over for them. Pause, but it's like, bro, like why didn't we do all we could do? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't we do all we could do to try and win the game? Bournemouth were 2-0 down at Anfield, managed to bring the game back to 2-2, right? Obviously, Liverpool went on to win it in the end, but Liverpool conceded from a 2-goal deficit, right? Newcastle last week, same thing. Liverpool up 2-0, Newcastle down to 10 men. Newcastle managed to draw back a 2-goal deficit. And we let this current Liverpool side, this iteration of Liverpool, keep a clean sheet at Anfield without even testing them? How come Bournemouth can be brave against them? How come 10-man Newcastle can be brave against them? And the mighty Arsenal, title contenders Arsenal, who just like I said, brought in Eze, you have all these players on the bench and this and that. We didn't want to lay a glove on them.
Yeah, but I
It's
think
just
also, but if I may, I think
hmm,
it's a little harsh to say that because the game that so Newcastle St. James's Park, the story behind that, the Isak and all the motion and stuff like that, they played a lot more open, right? And like there was just more intensity in that game.
hmm,
And the Bournemouth game, like Liverpool's not setting up the same way that they are for Arsenal as they are for Bournemouth. They're expected to beat a Bournemouth. With Arsenal, they're going to try to play a little bit more tactical, play a little bit more safe, be more pragmatic, try to, you know, control possession because they know they can't play that open. And you saw that. You saw that they weren't making risky passes. They weren't, trying to force those passes between the lines, right? So I think that's where Liverpool gave Arsenal their respect, right? So that's where it's a little bit different, but I do agree with
and
you.
so and sorry, can I if I may,
Mhm.
so to catch you on that point real quick, you're helping prove my point in that if we know, right, and they know that, or sorry, if we know, or Teta knows, whoever knows that Liverpool is giving us that respect, why didn't we go for them more? That makes my point even more kind of
That's the
valid.
naivety. That's what makes it so naive that you knew that your lineup for the first half it worked. You
Hmm.
dominated. I don't care what anybody says. We controlled the first half. Yes, they had their stints because it is Anfield at the end of the day, but we controlled the first half.
Where I swear I'd have like it was like almost 50, near 50-50 possession, no?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I agree with that. I don't think we dominated that whole half. I think we had a spell in the half where we controlled possession. Liverpool
Yes,
started off.
there was a heavy spell though, yes, where
Mhm,
Arsenal
mhm,
was on the front foot, and then things started to even out
That's how I saw it as
amongst
well.
both teams. But I if I were to say you guys had the strongest spell for the first
hmm
half compared to
About 20
Liverpool.
minutes, I would say, in the middle of the first
Yes.
half.
Whereas when they were doing when they had it, they didn't even have much presence. I don't even think they got like their strikers were in your box.
no.
Um yeah.
We literally nullified
Mhm,
Ekitike, nullified Salah, nullified Gakpo. It was like they didn't get a lick of anything. But that's
mhm.
where Eze needed to come on at the beginning of the second half. You knew Martinelli wasn't doing anything. Whether you want to put Eze because Odegaard wasn't fully fit. You could see it. Whether you want to put Eze instead of Marino, which I personally would have done, because as much as I love Marino, yes, he's a target man in the box for set pieces, and you could tell that that's what they were trying to do. Be brave. Like you see, Liverpool are playing our style. We've dictated the game. That's where my bone to pick with it is because in a league this year where you have to go on and make a statement and all the narrative right now is Arsenal keep playing for a draw. They're not serious. You're letting the Gary Nevilles and the fucking Schmeichel, which Schmeichel, you're a dumbass. Both teams are playing for a draw. It just happens that Szoboszlai had a moment of magic where you can't take away from him. That was a beautiful strike. I literally had no when it happened, I had no reaction. I was like, how am I supposed to hate on
Yeah,
this?
you can't say anything to that
Like
man.
it was a beautiful strike. It was post and in. If it
Yeah,
was any further in, Raya's hand was right there. Like it was literally the perfect strike. So yeah, Arteta, I think he let himself and he let the team down with his midfield
that's
or
the key.
or lack of reaction at halftime. Sorry.
I was gonna say that's the key word in it for me. Like the word of the day is bravery or lack thereof. We weren't brave enough. And again, we're the team supposed to be challenging for the title. They played their Newcastle, they played their Bournemouth, who both showed that sense of bravery. So for these professional footballers and scouts and anyone in the coaching staff, they all watch film, they all watch tape, right? They would have gone in and said, "Hey, you know, this is how to attack Liverpool. We can get at them. We can be brave because Liverpool have that defensive weakness and vulnerability. For God's sake, they have a fucking midfielder at right back who wasn't even tested at all, really, until Eze
That
came
to
on.
me is that's the biggest question mark of the game.
Yeah.
Bro.
Like, and then guy end up scoring. Like, what, bro? I don't know, man.
And
But
it's
yeah,
oh sorry, no, I was just gonna say and for me, it's like I don't know what Murdad, whether you agree with this or not, or Laurent, whether you agree with this or not. Even if you got the starting lineup wrong, I think he did. You may think differently based on how we handled the first half. Even if you got the starting lineup wrong, it's like make the change earlier in the second half when you notice
mm,
that they're there for the taking, right?
I
yes.
think
You
it
later.
worked. I think I didn't like it. I literally messaged the group. I did not like it at all, but it worked. So I'm not gonna take away like sure you got it right. You got it right. First half it worked, but you saw there was no pressure on Szoboszlai. There was zero pressure on him. And even like I said, even if you want to keep a Martinelli in there, that's fine. Take off Marino.
Yeah, yeah,
You have three sixes. You don't need three sixes against this iteration of Liverpool right now. If we're talking about us playing Liverpool in a March or in April, where they're clicking, everything's working, sure, fine. But not right now. Nothing's clicking for them. Like
yeah.
literally nothing is clicking for them. You ask any Liverpool fan, nothing is clicking for them. And what I said earlier when we were doing our predictions, I did say having 6 or 7 signings is gonna be difficult, right? And it's not 6 or 7 signings like Arsenal had that many signings, but they're not starting lineup signings. They're backup. Maybe one or two of them are, right? So and you see it. You literally see I think Madueke had for me he was probably the best player from an Arsenal perspective because he actually took on Kirkez and he was on that right flank, he was actually doing some damage. He was, you know, asking questions. And
That's
you
what it
saw.
is. Yeah, he was asking questions. That's the key word there. Like we didn't ask any questions anywhere else on the
Nope.
pitch really. And I want to say something real quick because people are obviously going to come for Gyökeres and whatnot. As soon as you saw the starting lineup, I could have told y'all. I'm sure all three of us could have said the same thing, or anybody who actually watched Gyökeres and knows the guy. This was not going to be a game for him as soon as you saw that starting 11 because who in that midfield is going to get him the ball? That guy thrives on service, right? We can all agree on
Yep.
that. He's not the Thierry Henry type striker, or dare I say, Alexander Isak type striker, where he's going to pick up the ball from half and beat two, three guys and create a moment of magic. No, he's not that kind of striker. He's a striker that thrives on service, early balls in behind, balls into the box, etc. Right? So as soon as you saw that midfield, you knew that there's no Gyökeres is just going to be doing shuttle runs, and I felt bad for the guy, bro. He's going up against the two of the best center backs in the league as well, right? It's going to be a
Yep.
physical battle from up there on his own. Even when say he were to get the ball and hold it up, as you said, we're playing with 3 6s, right? So who has the attacking instinct to get close to Gyökeres and link up play with him? You know what I mean? Like it was never going to be a game for him as soon as I saw that starting
No,
lineup.
it's two attackers. Like I would even include Martinelli as a six because the way that he's been playing, there's no offensive drive for him. He's just has unreal defensive work rate.
And Martinelli doesn't have the presence of mind. Like again, this is where the lack of people around Gyökeres is not an environment set up for him to succeed. Because you're telling me Martinelli's gonna link up with Gyökeres? No chance, bro. The man can't even pick up his head to pick out a pass. We all that one play that you're referring to, we all know what that is. That clip will literally be the end of Martinelli because I described him all in one motion. That one clip. The man picked up the ball from close to half, drove with it. He had a chance to just slip Gyökeres through. Gyökeres ends up stopping his run. Martinelli gets into the box, and it's like everyone else on the team might as well just turn back and get in position for a goal kick because Martinelli's just about to run the ball out of play. Like that one play described him to a T.
Yep. Fucking
You know what I
check
mean?
his passport.
It was just a joke, bro. The man has stalled so bad. I like it has to be studied what has gone on with this guy.
Yeah.
Like
No, but seriously, it's like he essentially like for Forest next after the international break, it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be an Eze, Gyökeres, Madueke up top. I don't want to see anything else unless somehow Saka's fit. Then maybe we look at okay, are we gonna play Saka or are we gonna just play Madueke, play Saka save because it's a recurring hamstring injury? But like I don't want to see anything aside from that.
mm,
It's I don't want to see Martinelli start. I think he needs to get build his confidence. Like wait till we get a Carabao Cup game, wait till we get a, FA Cup draw against, a lower league team that he can, get some confidence back. Because right now he if it wasn't for his defensive work rate, he would have not touched grass that game. Like at all.
Laurent,
So
what was your assessment on the game? What do you think?
It definitely I feel it was a passive game from an Arsenal standpoint. Uh as well as if you look at it from the tactical perspective, where yeah, okay, that's your starting lineup. Doesn't work out too well, but at half, right, it's 0-0. But for me, it's those changes have to come in early,
mhm.
uh, which is again what I don't understand. I mean, I felt like on one end, the other manager, he's making his changes, um, but Arteta just seems to be very reluctant to make changes when it's necessary to make them, right? And this is a theme we have seen across multiple seasons.
Yep.
And to me, that also it's those games that you let go, right? Right? Because who knows, right? At least you get a draw, and that's 1 point, right? And these things add up at the end of the season, right? So, um, it's tough. It's tough, and right, like I said, it's off of a Woldy of a goal, right? A free kick. That's what separated the two teams at the end. And yeah, like who knows what could have happened, right? Had those changes been made earlier. So yeah, but I will say this, that this can't be the mentality for the club going forward, in my
Nah.
opinion. Um, because right, this is not a team that's looking to, especially for games like that, right? That's looking to win. Like these are games that almost like right, like Bournemouth, right? Newcastle, right? Like these guys are pressing, bro. Like, and what was yeah, like I was also watching like the press right on both ends. For me, I think you guys had a better press that game compared to Liverpool, at least even in the first half. But I don't think it was aggressive enough
Mm-mm.
to force those errors. Even
Yeah.
though they did do a few mistakes at the beginning, right? Which is how you guys did have that spell. But when they started to get into the groove of things, I felt like you guys backed off and you allowed them to play. And
Mhm.
yeah, no, I
First
think
half or second half? I guess you're talking about second half.
second half, second half, and I would even say, bro, even like first half, like think about it, right? You have the spell, right? Obviously, momentum, right, is momentum, right? It dies down, but it's like you guys had a strong spell, right? And like I said, they did not see your 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 box. Like I think there was a stat where the commentator was like, I don't think there was a touch by an
Hmm.
offensive player in your box at some point in the first half, right? So it's like the moment you notice that the other teams, you have to cut that down, like you see what I'm saying, and look to regain the momentum, right? And to go back on the offense, right? But I don't know, man, because I feel like all of that is just it's player work rate, right? Also your midfielders, everyone is you're looking to truly force errors, right? You're fouling when you have to, right? To kind of like right, stop their momentum if they're getting too
Mhm.
relaxed on the ball. But I didn't feel that, and that to me is worrying. Like, because is this the type of style of play you guys are gonna have against the big teams, right? And those points are big,
Mm.
right? Those are very big points, right? And it's easy, right?
Yep.
Leads, yeah, it's 5-0, right? But come on, man, like those results, right? It's like you can get that, right? So, but for these, like, because these are where to me that's where the season is make or break in these types of games. So, uh, I feel like yeah, you guys are gonna have to bring something other than what we saw today, last week to the table.
Which I think we will. Again, big picture, after you talk about the game and kind of come down from it all. Overall, I actually I agree with Murdad in the sense that I think we'll be all right. Like, I think we will be all right once things start to settle down and like players come back and the team settles in terms of Eze and whatnot. Because that's why I do believe Arteta didn't start Eze. Was maybe he'll say that he wasn't fully embedded in the team and he only had 1 week of training, and which I don't buy.
But
The
the
guy's
guy
the guy's
faced
a
Liverpool three
yeah,
times.
yeah. He's had a full
No, wait,
preseason.
you guys know
He's
that, right? He
yeah, yeah,
faced Liverpool three times.
yeah, yeah.
Bro, like if anything, that's his game to
That's what
play.
I'm saying, and
Yep.
that's why I don't understand why he didn't start. There's no say he had a full preseason. He started the season with Palace already. He's
Mm.
not an 18-year-old young boy from outside of the country. The man's been here, done that. So, anyways, I do expect to see him in the lineup going forward. To be honest, like I think this game could be the end of Martinelli starting, especially starting big games. Although I say that, but again, as we've said, Arteta's pragmatic style, maybe away from home against a big side, Martinelli plays, so he literally sits on top of the left back and defends. I hope not. I hope we are more brave in these games going forward. So that is going to be interesting to see, to be honest with you. But I think overall we will be all right. Liverpool away is the toughest game that we're going to play all season, to be honest with you. And we almost still got a result, even though the lineup was washed, in my opinion. So considering that'll be the toughest game away from home against the champions all season, I do expect from here on out we need to go on a run. Um, and a couple quick shout outs. Christian Mascara, what a debut to come
What
in.
a debut.
Wow, like that's
He was
Unreal
looking
timing.
he was looking a bit shaky at the beginning. Um,
What do you expect? He just came off cold and he's his first time playing at Anfield.
no, 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 I mean, not but he was. There were times where it was you know what I mean, like
sure.
because
But one thing that he did, opposite to what we're saying that the manager didn't do, is Christian Mascara actually showed bravery. I will say he was brave on the ball. He actually was willing to drive forward with the ball. If you notice, a
right,
couple times he would try and
yeah,
drive through
yeah,
midfield. to invite and pressure a little bit, and then he would release it. I do know what you're talking about. A couple of times where he looked like he could have given the ball away, but I
Mhm.
do appreciate that he actually was trying. You know what I mean? And in the end, it didn't cost us, and he did settle into the game very quickly. And for a guy coming from outside the league, 20, 21 years of age, to fill in of Saliba's shoes again at the hardest ground away for the champions, I have to applaud that debut. That's not easy as a center back, right? Um, just real quick, Laurent, you mentioned that Arsenal were passive, right? That was one of the first sentences you said, and I wanted to make sure I remember that. So you said that Arsenal were passive um, in the way they approached the game. In Arsenal's defense, right? Arsenal's defense, Arteta's defense, I think Merdad, you would agree with what I'm about to say as well. Because you mentioned the pundits who were talking shit as they usually do, Gary Neville's and those guys, Peter Schmeichel. But Laurent, would you not also say that from a Liverpool's perspective, the way they approached the game, they were also very passive as well, considering they were full strength in what they had on the pitch, the attacking talent and impetus that they had? Did they not come across to you like they were approaching the game pretty passive as well? Because if I'm a pundit, no one's talking about that, but I will be pretty disappointed in the way Liverpool approached the game as well. I don't know what you think.
No, no. Yeah, yeah. I do agree with that. I think, I mean, the reason why, personally, I didn't bring it up is simply because I'm looking at it through an Arsenal lens as opposed to Liverpool lens. But you are right, where bro, you're supposed to have this tremendous attack,
Hmm.
and we didn't see much, right, until the second half. And yeah, like if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm a bit worried, right? Because things are looking a bit disjointed. Some of the players, new
Florian Wirtz
players,
hasn't
yeah,
gotten going.
yeah, yeah, that too,
Your
right?
Met Player of the Year.
Yeah,
I know. Jeez.
yeah, yeah. But honestly, I feel like with just every team at this stage, it's 3 games. Um, it's just a matter of time until that engine starts to pick up for most teams. And shit, man. I mean, do you want them to get, to pick things up, or is that what we're asking to see the full, especially with the Isak situation, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, careful what you wish for. It's better they play like this, and you play them and you take advantage of their defensive mistakes, than them suddenly figuring out, okay, like, right, from full on attack to defense, and they're like truly, if their players get going, especially Konate, man, that's one right big player that has looked a bit lost as of recently. And yeah, but other than that, yeah, I think to me it's just 3 games in, right? Things are bound to pick up. Yeah, but oh, sorry, I do have a question or something that I reserved, and I'm sure you guys have observed as well. When Eze came on, I was looking at his positioning relative to the touchline, or the sideline, I should say. And yeah, naturally, I just felt like, how we gauged it before he would come in, that he would favor playing more on the inside as opposed to a traditional winger hugging the sideline. And how did you guys feel about that, right? In terms of his spacing and yeah, just overall, right? Was it favorable for the team going forward, or?
Too soon to tell.
Mm,
20-minute cameo. Like, I want to see 3, 4 games. Too soon to tell.
okay, okay.
Like, what am I going to say in 20 minutes?
Mm, okay. No, no, I'm just asking because
We
I
got a
do know.
full half, it would be completely
Mm,
different, but 20 minutes and we had to go for it.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
But
CJ, same thing.
oh,
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
no, no.
So sorry, your question is, how did I feel like just about his positioning and whatnot? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, in regards to his positioning, right? Because right, from what I noticed, just was not the traditional winger, right? That usually hugs the sideline, right? I saw
Hmm.
him trying to go in, right,
Yeah,
inside the midfield,
yeah, yeah.
more so than not. Um,
Which we called that, right? Or at least I did. A couple of us did say on the pod a
mhm,
few times that that's how he's gonna play. He's gonna play as a winger coming in field, right? He's not gonna really want to hug the touchline.
mhm,
Um, it's just the bottom line at this moment in time is if he's going to get in the team with Odegaard starting, if you want as many creative pitch players on the pitch as possible, and you're not going to play him as a left eight with Odegaard in the center of midfield, and you're going to put him out wide, yeah, you're going to expect that he's gonna try and invert, as they say, right, or come inside, come in off the touchline and play a little bit more centrally. Um, but I mean, already you can tell within that 20 minutes. I know it was a very short cameo. Within that 20 minutes, you can already he did more in that 20 minutes than Martinelli did in 60, right?
Yep.
So it's
I'm
like I
giving
don't know
him
if you guys
another
remember.
25 minutes.
It was and this was just so disappointing. I don't know if you guys remember. There's this one, and this is the moment of magic we're talking about that you can't teach. And I don't want Arteta to coach that out of these players, right? Certain players with skill and with flair. Do you guys remember that one time? Eze was literally right on the touchline, right? The ball went out wide. It was a poor cross to him
Yes.
even, but it went way too far wide. And I'm like, hey, what's he gonna do with it here? The man, his first touch, just took it past the ball. I was like, do you remember that? Outside of the foot, outside of the right foot, and then he ended up losing it after. But that
Yep.
ability to take, do you remember that?
Yep.
I don't know
He,
if you remember
he
that,
he
Laurent.
he walked it around him. Well, he like tripped it over him and then he followed the line.
Yes, right on the line. And typically you're thinking, what's he going to do with it there? Like he had no right to really get
Is
out
he
of that
gonna just try
situation.
to get get a corner and hit it off a
Hmm.
Szoboszlai or some bullshit
And
like
it's
that
just
and pay
like,
for the corner flag? But nope, he does what Madueke did on the other side, just go directly at him. Put the pressure on them.
and like, isn't that just such a shame? Because it's like that's what Martinelli failed to do for 60 minutes. And if we had that from Eze for 90 minutes, at least another 45, as you say, like
Yeah,
the,
just
the
another
whole second
45
half.
minutes. Just started the
Can you
entire fucking
imagine?
second
Just
half.
ask more questions, Mo. That's why it's just so disappointing to me, bro.
Well, one team that's been asking the questions and the right questions, um, Centurions.
Hey,
Chelsea. They beat up on their little brother Fulham. João Pedro. I must say, he's been an unreal signing. Would you not say that, Laurent?
yeah, yeah, man. I mean,
Unreal
that's
signing for my fantasy league team as well. Captain him this week. Unreal signing.
yeah, yeah. No, so you guys got this, right? This is you guys right here.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got this. You already know. Yeah. So
It's a
yeah,
cold celly, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
Um,
no.
but can we talk about that bullshit VAR call?
Bro, honestly, man, I'm gonna walk. If this are we really? Bro, I swear we're not
If
doing
if
VRs.
if
We're not
if,
doing
if
VR
that went the other
segments.
way, let me ask you, if it went the other way, how would you be feeling?
Like nothing, bro. The guy got fouled.
Oh my days.
You don't think that was weak? Honestly speaking,
Huh?
you don't think that was weak?
We cannot, bro. The ref.
Oh my.
It was a foul. Wait, was it not a foul
No,
before
he
the
got the ball. It was
yeah,
ball
by and
first.
he
And
he
and he
stepped on the
still had
guy's
so much to do. He still had so much to do to get the ball to King and for King to score. He had so much to do. And you're gonna pull it back for that weak shit? That's 2 games in a row. First,
Yeah,
the Eze free kick. They got called back. Like you got like
yeah.
you
Chelsea's
know,
catching some life, man.
bro. Like, listen, Centurions are not like they're getting the calls that they need to potentially be Centurions.
Mm.
Some bullshit ass calls.
This is I mean I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's not
I'm
like
just,
I mean
I'm like real talk, real talk. If that went against Chelsea, what would you say?
nothing, bro.
Oh
Oh,
man.
Like it's like you keep it moving. You know, it's bro. The guy they're going for the ball, right? 50-50. He tries to do a roulette and he steps on the guy's
he had already won the ball.
uh it was like near simultaneous in terms of the
Wait,
action.
hold on, hold on. Context matters, right?
Yeah. So what's the context here for you? So wait, you guys don't see that as a foul at all, is what you guys are
Nope.
telling me.
Not at all.
Not enough to because sorry. So correct me if I'm wrong. It went to VAR, right? Referee on the
Yes.
field didn't call it.
Nope.
Mm.
Not enough to be overturned by VAR. So referee doesn't call it. Like, are you really gonna call things back for that? Like, that's weak in my opinion.
It sets a
Is
precedent.
that clear and obvious?
Yeah, like it sets a precedent. Like, and again, it's just funny that it happened to Chelsea. So you probably think that I'm just picking on you, but it just sets a precedent for the rest of the league, for the rest of the season that like VAR is looking for things. It's not a clear and obvious
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah, man.
VAR was brought in for clear and obvious mistakes. That Eze goal was not a clear and obvious mistake because that happens in every single free kick. You know what I mean? This happens every like if a player makes a run and they get the ball, the follow through, right? It wasn't a dangerous play. So for me, it was not a clear and obvious mistake. If anything, it's just funnier that it happened against Chelsea, but more so it's like, what are you doing, VAR? This is not what your intention was.
Yeah,
Your
to
intention was
re-referee the
for the
game.
clear and obvious handballs, offside calls, or like something happens behind the play and the player, has some like, violent conduct. That's what it's meant for, right? Not this, not taking away goals from players, you know?
Because at
Uh,
that point, it would have been 1-0 Fulham, right?
correct.
Yeah, but it wouldn't end at 1-0 Fulham. I can
Wait,
tell you
who,
that
yeah,
much.
yeah, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe it would have ended 1-1. Who knows? Maybe it would have ended 2-2.
The officials want the Centurions, man.
Yeah.
Well,
But
listen, we did our job, bro. Because even then, it was still 0-0, and we did what we had to do to get all 3 points, right?
so last question before we move on from the Chelsea game.
Mhm.
Has Cole Palmer lost a spot to Estavio?
To
Nah,
who?
no,
Estavio.
Oh, Estadio, the young boy.
nah. I wouldn't say that. Um, I think there's even with Palmer, man. There's different ways to play him, right?
Yeah.
For now, I think it'd be interesting to see, especially with the lap injury,
Hmm.
which you guys noticed, right? That the lap injury truly was a chaotic piece, right? Mind you, it affected Jackson's loan possibilities, right? Last minute, Mark Guiu recalled
Oh,
from
Gio, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh yes,
yeah,
from
From
Sunderland.
Sunderland.
Sunderland,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and we tried the Tyreek George during the injury, didn't work, not gonna work. Um, and yeah, but I think
Okay,
that when Palmer comes back, he'll have a spot, you know, uh, depending on where we decide to play him. But yeah, no, he's a vital piece for us going forward. So
but immediate solution. Delap goes back up top. No, not Delap. Sorry, João Pedro.
yeah, so João Pedro could go back up top, and then you can then put Palmer at the 10. Yeah.
Has João Pedro been playing in the 10 or are you playing off the left?
So he's been playing in the 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his bet. He played better coming off a striker. So Everton, my surprise team of the year. You motherfuckers laughed at me. I know it's early, but you motherfuckers laughed at me.
I'm still laughing, fam. Because you
You,
said set, fam. Do you remember what position you said?
Seven.
yes, seventh, seventh. And I'm still gonna stand by it. Jack Grealish is back. After the international break, they're gonna face Villa. He's gonna go back home. But Jack Grealish is back. He is actually back. Um, the defense needs a little bit of work, but like 3-2 against Wolves, I don't mind it. You got that new stadium bounce. Everything is golden. Like, keep it going. Keep it going. And their next fixture, they're facing Villa. Villa has not looked good at all.
Mm.
And they're at home. Everton is at home. So I expect them to get all 3 points. So for me, like, I'm still standing by it. Seventh place, I think they can do it. You guys still don't think so?
Honestly, man, yeah, I think that's gonna taper off as the season progresses. You know, it's a good run. It's a good run. Shit, I mean, what is Grealish gonna keep like providing these assists for them? Like,
I think so.
They'll be good. I think they'll be good. I agree with you, but I think you're jumping the gun a little bit. Seventh. You know who they have to finish ahead of to become seventh? Like there's a lot of good teams in this league, man. That's
I
that's
know.
quite high for a team that was battling relegation not too long ago to jump to seventh.
I
A
know.
big jump. But they got some good players. Dewsbury Hall from Chelsea. Was that
Yeah.
is that a loan or is that a permanent signing for Everton?
Permanent, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm. No, they got some solid pieces. They got that Beto up front. Um, defense,
NDI, Tyler Dibling.
yeah, some good defenders. So they got something to work with there. But yeah, I think they'll be comfortably mid-table, probably. Some, in my opinion.
Hmm. A team that was actually in the relegation battle. Nando's FC. Listen, Tottenham, listen up. You can sign new players. You can, get a new stadium. You can bring in a new manager. But what you will never do, you will never, ever take the Spursy out of Spurs. You go to the Etihad, you spank City, and yes, you spanked City. You come home, you know, Bournemouth, they're no slouch. But the expectation is that if you go and beat City and you spank them away, you're going to take care of business at home. And you lose 1-0. Like, this is as Spursy can get. Like, is there anything else to say about this game?
What makes me laugh is they did what we did. I swear you're right, man. Like just forever in our shadow. They tried to do what we did. Unveil their new signing ahead of the game at home just to go and lose. And with all even the media stuff too. Like I can't believe they're shameless. I can't believe they use the same theme song, that we use for Eze. Let it all work out. And little cheeky comments from Chavi, right? Chavi Simmons, I think his quotes or something like, "Oh, Tottenham called, I answered." Like, okay, what's your point there? What are you trying to say? It's not often that people answer when Tottenham calls. So congrats to you for
Yeah.
doing it. And look, good signing for them. Something they needed.
Colomwani as well.
Kolomuani, yeah, good signings for them. Something they needed to boost their squad. They're in Champions League, so they need some players. Um, all the comparisons going around that who got the better player, who got the better deal, as they are Travis Simmons. It's like, bro, come on, like just humble yourselves for a second. You're still little bros in this town. Like, just relax. Travis Simmons, good signing. You guys are a little bit salty that you guys didn't get as a still. That's obviously why you're using the same captions as us and trying to do the same media stuff as us. But just go back in your shell for a
Yeah.
second. Remember who you are. So when is the first North London derby? That's going to be interesting. We got to look into that.
Let's see. Let me fact check this real
It
quick.
should be coming up, right? Because
Yeah,
there's around the Bayern Munich.
November 22nd, we're at home,
Mm,
and then February 21st, we're away.
okay.
I think that's the week that um we face Spurs,
Bayern,
Bayern,
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Mm,
Yeah. Um my my promoted team, who I call to stay up, uh Sunderland. Second win. 6 points. 6 points out of nine. Um beating Brentford. And like I said, I think Brentford, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. I think they're gonna get dragged into a relegation battle with all the changes that they've had. Johan Wissa's gone now. Thomas Frank was the stabilizing piece
Wait, where do
there.
you go?
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Oh, yeah, she got it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think they're in big trouble. Big trouble. Granit Xhaka looks good, man. I watched the game. I watched
Same.
an extended highlights. Like he looks good.
Got an assist.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks really good. So yeah, Sunderland, they keep it rolling. I'm very excited for that first game when they face Newcastle at home. That's going to be a massive game. Like if for viewers, listeners, if you don't know about that, like we always talk about the North London rivalry, watch the Sunderland Newcastle game because that is next level. Like the hatred between those two clubs is next to like nothing. Like it's insane. I think it was last year that they faced each other. Was it Carabao Cup or FA Cup that they faced each other last season?
Was it last season or was it a couple of
Checking right
seasons ago?
now. It was FA Cup third round. Oh yeah, it was January 2024.
Mhm.
So December 13th, 2025, they're at home, Sunderland. And then March 21st, they face Newcastle at St. James's Park. That December game, like I'm tuning in. 10
Yeah.
a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm tuning in. That's going to be a very good game. Um, Another relegation battle matchup, Manchester United versus Burnley. Um, is has United real like have their standards fallen so low that Bruno Fernandes needs to celebrate like they won a trophy or like a World Cup, celebrating in front of Burnley players that just got promoted? If you don't know what I'm talking about, towards the end of the game, after Bruno got a penalty, which in my opinion was not a penalty at all, the contact started outside the box, continued into the box. By the letter of the law, VAR, PGMOL, Howard Webb, you're not a fucking lawyer, you're a fucking referee. By the letter of the law, if the contact initiates outside the box, it's a free kick outside the box. You can't just upgrade that to a penalty because it's Manchester United. Like that's like fucking off yourself. Um, Bruno scores, Burnley go on attack, and they get, a goal kick, and you can see Bruno's just getting in the face of the striker,
Him
and
and Dallo too. Like it's
yeah,
embarrassing, bro.
like,
It's fucking embarrassing.
bro, oh
Dude, that
my,
was here. Did you guys see his reaction when the striker or whoever it was, like trying to like hug him,
Yeah,
and then
bro.
Bruno was like,
Because
"You know
bro,
what I mean?"
Bruno was begging for that to happen. Bruno was trying to initiate the contact. The
yeah,
striker wasn't. He didn't care. He wasn't having any of it. But Bruno really tried so hard to make that a thing. You guys notice that? I'm like, yo, this guy is such a waste man. I swear to God.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love to see
Like
it,
the
bro.
standards have
It's
fallen so low that you're celebrating beating Burnley at home. Yo,
Yo, that
was it your friend that's a United fan that was talking with all that chess?
Jeez, Julian.
Mm.
Mm,
I think we need to add a Julian segment to this because every week I want to rip into this man,
wow.
bro. If
Uh,
you like Julian, like I said, bro, this is all fun and games. Don't ever speak about the Arsenal. Like, don't ever speak about the Arsenal. Figure your shit out first. You know,
I mean, listen, man. All it takes is one win, and then you catch a bit of
Tesco,
momentum.
Tesco. He doesn't even fucking start. Like one
Yeah, but
win,
apparently he should have started though, based on his performance. Like,
shoulda,
I saw,
coulda, woulda.
yeah, no, but I saw some of the highlights here. He was in there. He was in there. But he'll get his chance.
It's fucking Burnley, bro. It's fucking Burnley.
these
But you
guys.
gotta start. You gotta start somewhere, man. Like,
Oh fuck. Anyways, I don't even want to talk about United, but
Yeah, fuck them.
Leeds. Um, good point. Good point for Leeds. Holding Newcastle 0-0 at Ellen Road. That's gonna be a tough stadium to go to. The amount of history, the fans are gonna get up for those games. Um, Newcastle, they signed a new striker from Stuttgart. You know what's crazy? And I'm just gonna quickly take a quick tangent, just a little quick tangent. In 2025, you pay 90 mil for a no-name striker. Okay? 10, 15 years ago, you paid 90 mil and you get Cristiano Ronaldo. So when people say, oh, Arteta spent this much, they're saying this much, the market is inflated like crazy. So like you have to take it with that context. Is Alexander Isak worth 167 million? If he's worth that much, how much is Lionel Messi worth in his prime? 300 mil? 400 mil? So like you need to calm the discussion about how much Arteta spent and yada yada yada. Like Florian Wirtz, he's a 150 mil player, but what has he done in 3 games? Yes, I know it's 3 games, but like when you're spending that much money, you want instant impact. João Pedro, what, he went for like 70 mil, right? To Chelsea? Was it 70?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Instant impact. Pretty much scored every game, right? Zubamendi controlled the midfield, 60 mil. Mosquera was like 30 mil. Instant impact. Came on and bossed it, right? Kudus, 60 mil.
Actually, I think Wilt is still looking, to how he can help out with the group project. But
Who's looking to
who?
help out with the group project?
Florian Wirtz?
Oh,
Yeah. So, I'm saying, give him time, give him time. You know what I mean? Where
but you
everyone's
know what
already
I'm
this.
trying to say, right? Like again, yes, he spent $1 billion, but like the market is fully inflated. You're paying 90 mil for a no-name striker from Stuttgart, whereas 10, 15 years ago, you're getting Cristiano Ronaldo for 90 mil.
Mm.
So that
Yeah,
guy
wait.
cost 90 mil. This new
You
striker.
guys,
Yeah,
I know Murdad, you said you don't know any much about him, but you, CJ, you know much about that striker?
This new striker from that Newcastle got
Yeah, yeah.
nothing. No, nothing.
he
That's
was
crazy.
90 mil.
Yeah, nothing. 6 months ago, none of us even heard of this guy.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. To me, it seems more so like an impulsive buy on their end, right?
Nick Woltemade,
Well, because they had to
23 years old.
replace Isak. So yeah, it's almost like
Like
how much
again,
homework
it's
did they
not a
actually?
disrespect, eh? Like I'm not trying to be mean, but like I'm just trying to put into perspective that when people are like, "Oh, Arteta spent 1 billion, blah blah blah," like Chelsea spent all this money. Okay, but like put into the context of like the market is inflated. 100 mil gets you Declan Rice, whereas 15 years ago, 100 mil would have got you Lionel Messi, right? Got your Neymar to PSG. And respectfully, as much as I love Declan Rice, like Neymar is a different tier, right? This guy played looking at his stats right now. He played at Stuttgart, 29 appearances, 12 goals. The year before that, he was on loan, 31 appearances, 10 goals.
Wow, that cost no man. He was worth 90 mil. That is
Yeah,
crazy. What the
yeah.
fuck?
So like, you know, let's let's put it into perspective. 90 million euros because 65 million pound. Let me
65 million pounds.
plus 5 million pounds, so 70 million pound, which is 90 million euros. But still, that's how much Ronaldo won for because he went to Spain. Um, this game was a shocker, and I think we were talking about it that Graham Potter might have been the first manager sacked. He saved his job. Paqueta, Bowen, and Callum Wilson saved his job. They beat Forest 3-0. That was one of the that was a weird game. I did not like I don't know about you guys. I did not expect that. I did not expect Forest to be like beaten in the manner in which they were.
Yeah, that was one of the two shock results of that day for me. 2-3 nil score lines. Palace the same. I know we're gonna get into it, but
Yeah.
sticking on the Forest game, yeah, that one. That's a complete shock. Just goes to show the Premier League, man. That's the Premier League for you. Like, how does West Ham, who seems like they're in the mud, down and out, go to a relatively informed Forest side who's been resilient over the last season or so? The solid back line, and just concede three at home like that. That was a crazy result. I don't know if you guys watched the game at all, but
I watched the extended highlights. It was wild to watch. Do you question from this? If you're a betting man, would you say that Graham Potter was the first manager sacked?
Hmm.
him and Amram are both flirting with that at the moment.
Well, Amarim said he was gonna leave. I don't know this game. I don't think he'll be sacked. I think he's gonna leave.
Really?
Wait, are you talking about what you said last week?
Yeah.
Nah, man, there's no
They
way.
said after the Burnley game is gonna be his last game. Yeah, it was real like legitimate rumors. It was on Sky Sports. But anyways, do you think Graham Potter the first manager sacked?
Well, he just saved himself. He caught some life with this result. 3-0 against Forest, the way is good. So I think he'll be all right for the next couple of weeks. Depends who they have next in the league. Like if they get another spanking, then
Let me quickly check who they have next. Um West Ham, they face Spurs at home.
Mm. Oh, yeah. Could be a tricky one. But London Derby, those two clubs don't like each other
They
really.
face September, they face Spurs at home, Palace at home, and then Everton away. And then October, Arsenal away, Brentford at home, Leeds away.
Hmm.
So, like if we look at September, I think it's a loss to Spurs. They could probably get a draw against Palace, but Palace looks in form, and I think they
Yeah,
lose to
Palace
Everton.
looks good.
I think they lose to Everton, so I think he's maybe getting 1 point out of a possible nine in September.
Hmm.
Like they're a relegation team through and through.
Yeah, well, I think like CJ, he just got himself an extension.
That was good. I'll give you that. Um, Someone who needs an extension, Pep Guardiola. Can you wake up?
Hmm.
2-1. First you get spanked, and you come on and say, "Oh, I still have the drive. I still have the energy." You're doing that little spit thing, get this man some fucking water. And then you go down south to face the Seagulls, and you lose again. And what makes it worse is Ryan Cherky is going to be out for an extended period. Like, is City done? Because something's not right.
Hmm. Yeah, this is tough, man. I don't even know how to gauge this because they have quality. That's without a doubt.
A lot of quality.
Yeah. No, that's a solid team they have.
So what do you think is a missing piece? Do you think they just can't gel? Like what do you think is happening that's causing them to be so poor? Because I thought they were gonna bounce back after going into the international break. I thought they were gonna bounce back, have a 2-1 record, but you know,
Man, I mean, I didn't watch the game. Saw the highlights, but even that wasn't too telling. Just based off the stats, I'm seeing their offense seems to be lacking, or they're not able to create as many chances as City is known to be able to create. Um, and then on top of that, right, we know that defensively, since they're the new signing, I believe, who's that center back or is it right back? But you know that new guy?
Ryan Aitnuri,
No. Hold on, let me see if I can.
because they sold a Kanji. He's gone on loan.
Is that
Yeah,
confirmed?
I believe
Akanji's gone?
so. Believe so.
yeah, no, it's Kusanov. So I know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that guy's been somewhat shaky at the club, but other than that, defensively, I think they do have holes. Which is funny because they almost remind you of a Liverpool in a sense, right? But offensively, I think they're weaker than Liverpool. So, right, they
Hmm.
don't have like I don't feel like they have that the kind of firepower Liverpool have on the offense. Mind you, I mean they have a clinical striker in Holland. Um, but they're vulnerable in the back. Um, and you're not creating the kind of chances that you're used to create, right? Yeah, you're dominating possession and whatnot, but what good is that, right? If you know you can't create those chances, right? And that high XG and all that. But I don't know, man. If I'm a City fan, I'm worried. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
I'm worried. Uh,
Yeah, Kanji deal to Inter. And they're making it happen.
A lot of turnover there at the moment. It's funny, Laurent, you did call it at the back end of last season when we were talking about like, oh, is City going to contend again this year, and are they going to be favorites? Are they going to be back? You did say that after losing De Bruyne and a couple other pieces that this might be a transition year for them. So it seems like that's the case right now. They're not as stable as they once were. So
Mhm.
listen, we
Right.
need to capitalize, man. From an Arsenal perspective, like we play them in a couple games, right? We first came back after international break is Forest, um, and then it's City at home. So I expect another 3 points.
Mm,
Crazy that in the prediction piece too. Like when we're talking about teams that look stable at the moment, a lot of people would have had, like, and again, when we talk about title races, a lot of people had, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, the same three in and around there. But the way things are looking at the moment, Chelsea's a more like they look like a more stable, settled side at the moment than City, and in terms of the way Maresca has them playing and cohesion, right? I think at this
Mhm.
point, Laurent will admit obviously as well that Chelsea have found their groove. They know how they want to play. They know everyone kind of knows their role, formations, and positioning and all that. So they even look more settled than City at the moment. So I don't know, man. Like City, shit. Like we're gonna have to maybe revamp our predictions on what we think of them. I know I predicted them third. I don't remember what you guys had said, but um, yeah, I don't know, man. It's looking. Are they going to be in a title race this year, City? Like, what do you guys think? Do you think they'll actually be in the mix?
They'll be in a top four race, but not a title race. I
well, I
think.
mean, on what? Yeah.
No, I was gonna say the title race is between Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea, and I think Chelsea's gonna
Really?
fall off, unfortunately.
Is it too early to rule City out?
Yep.
Because you never.
Oh, sorry, no, no,
It's still Pep, and it's still still got class players. Still got the Hollands. It's
no.
not too early to rule them out,
For me, no. If you're asking me, no. I don't
Laurent.
need no extensions.
Uh, I think the the tricky part with this is that last year, around second half of the season, I believe, they were in a similar predicament where they kind of tapered off, they fell off, and suddenly out of nowhere, there was a resurgence towards the ending of the season where they suddenly came back and I don't know, I forgot what they finished, but they managed to rack up right a good spell, a good streak, and that's what I think could happen in this case, right? Where you can't just rule them out, mind you, right?
Mm.
Like you look at the squad on paper, it is a solid squad,
Hmm.
right? It is a top, and then you have a top manager, right? So, right, who knows what the growing pains are at the moment, but yeah, I think Pep, right? He has it in him to be able to figure that out. So I wouldn't rule them out.
Okay.
So title race for you, Laurent? Like,
Um, I mean, it's still 3 games, man. To me, it's too early. It's too early, right? Yeah. I think after 10 games, maybe yeah, we come back and we discuss this again. But 3 game, yeah, like bro, it's
Okay.
too early. There's yeah, still in
Um, last game, the as a list Palace, continue to roll.
the other shock result for me.
Yeah, this was crazy. This was a crazy result. 3-0 beating Villa and Mateta. Mateta looks good, man.
Yo, he's class. I can't even lie.
He looks good. So I don't know what you boys have to talk about this game, but like Palace look good. And you would have thought, with all the turnover, stuff like that, that they would struggle, but they look good. They look like they're ready to roll.
I'm happy Gay stayed because from a selfish perspective, fuck Liverpool. Um, and but for his sake, I am a little bit sad for him. Obviously, like that would have been a big move. He's something he deserves, to go to a big six side because he's a quality center back, So I think he deserves his flowers. Funny enough, some of the things that I want to get your guys' thoughts on this actually. Some of the reasons why when we were linked with him earlier this year, he wouldn't come to an Arsenal was because he knew he'd be behind Saliba and Gabriel. And in a World Cup year, he wants to solidify his spot in the England camp, right? Be a starter there, get playing time. And he knew he wasn't going to play ahead of our guys. But going to Liverpool, I mean, would he have played? Because you have Liverpool, you have Van Dijk and Kanate. Would he have played there? I mean, you're going there, but you're still, it's the same kind of thing. Kanate and Van Dijk are just as formidable of a center back pairing. Are you going to play ahead of those two? The argument is that in Kanate's last year, we all know kind of what's going on with him. He may leave after this year. So maybe his head is not fully in it and he's maybe not as committed. So maybe Gay, he would have got in there and he would have still started beside Van Dijk. But what do you guys think?
He's not starting. And maybe because he knows the ages of the players, you know. But
Mm. But you're the one that also admitting as well that Kanate doesn't look himself. So maybe
Conte
like
does
Gay,
look.
so maybe Gay, he would have gone in and started them.
I mean, I think Gay would have pushed Kanate and Van Dijk, but I don't think he would have surpassed Van Dijk.
Definitely not. No. If there's one that was going to get replaced, it would have been Kanate.
Mm.
You think the same, Laurent?
Yeah, no, yeah. And to me, yeah, Van Dijk, no. That's a staple. But Konate, yeah. Assuming the bad form continues, because I think Konate on his day, right, overall is just a better player than Gay.
Can I ask you guys something as well? Totally offline for a second. It's just, we're talking about the center backs, right? As it comes to mind and who's the best. I sent you guys a link in the other day about the cornerstone of Arsenal's success being the two center backs, right? Saliba and Gabriel, if Arsenal are going to achieve anything this season. Um, Again, Van Dijk on the weekend, though, I was watching the game, obviously, Arsenal Liverpool with my pops. And one thing we were both saying is that Van Dijk, that guy just he's back. After his injury, people thought he was done, but he's since come back. He's won the league, and he just looks kind of back to his old self. And like the guy just never looks flustered, never looks troubled, right? You never really ever see him look like he's at full stretch for anything, or he never really looks like he's running at full speed. He just always looks like he's under control. He looks like he's always jogging back. He's got that aura about him too, right? He's got the aura of Van Dijk. And for me, where do you guys think he ranks? Maybe I'm overhyping him. Again, center backs union. I analyze it from a different perspective, being a center back myself. But where do you think Van Dijk ranks, like amongst the best center backs of all time in the Premier League?
Top 5, easily. Easily. I would even argue top 3 for me.
Jeez.
No,
Like,
who's in your top
The
three?
consistency year over year.
actually,
Like that's what I'm looking at, right? Like
mm,
So who's in your top three? Do you have a top three?
I don't have a top 3, but like some of the people that come to my like you have like my top 5, and this is in no particular order. Um, you have to put Terry. I don't care what anybody says. John Terry has to be in there somewhere in the top 5. Um, you have to put Rio in there for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
He's decorated. VVD. That's 3, right?
Vincent Company? Any shout for him or no?
Top 10? Not top 5 for me. Sol Campbell, right? Maybe Tony Adams pushes Sol Campbell out, and then you fit in a Yop Stam, right, to round up your 5. So like
Vidic,
Rio,
Vidic was good as well too. I liked Vidic.
yeah, like you know what I mean, but those are players that you're like, okay, like where's the impact? Like, would you like, are you gonna take the Tony Adams impact over Vidic? Personally, I would, not because of an Arsenal thing. But Van Dijk easily top 5 for me. Like, I don't think he gets pushed out. Whereas, I could see Vidic coming in pushing a Sol Campbell out, or like vice versa. Um, well, so I guess for me, top 3, I don't know in what order it'd be Terry, Rio, and Van Dijk. That would be my top 3 in the
Mm.
Prem. I don't know what order, but for me, that would probably be my top 3. I don't know if that's, um, you know, too controversial, but that would be my top 3, I guess.
See, it's interesting, Laurent, and I wanted to press you on this too. Obviously looking at it from a Chelsea lens, like I wonder if you'd admit, if you think that, I don't know what your thoughts are on John Terry specifically, but would you admit that Is he ahead of has Van Dijk passed him? Is he still better than Van Dijk? I don't know if you like him on a personal level because again, for me on the personal level, fuck that guy, an alleged racist by the way, but we won't get into the
Who, John
politics
Terry?
on. Yeah,
Yeah, but we're talking about the football. Like all the
we're
other
talking about the
stuff.
footballer,
Yeah, we're just talking about the football.
talking about the footballer. Even on the football side of things, in the modern game, it's funny. Like a lot of people will say, "Well, can John Terry play in the modern game?" Because ball playing center back, there's no question. Like ability, Van Dyke has more ability on the ball than John Terry was, right? But John Terry is more of the old school center back. And a
Hmm.
lot of the center backs that we named are the old school type center backs, right?
Right,
Physical, aggressive, not as good on the ball, but they'll defend for their lives, right? They'll defend their
right,
hearts out.
right.
Like where do you stand again on the Chelsea perspective too? Like I don't know if there's a little bit of bias there or not, but like who's your top all time center back in the Premier League? For me, Terry is also up there, by the way, but what do you think? And where does Van Dyke rank? I guess to the Terrys, to the Ferdinands.
Man, that's it's tough because like you mentioned here, right? Um, the previous center backs of the previous generations weren't built like the ones that are right playing now, right? The system, the game has evolved, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
And these center backs have to fulfill a different system. So I mean, if I look at through that lens, then I think I would have to give it to Van Dijk, simply because he can do what those guys do and slightly more. Um, yeah, yeah, and he's very imposing, man. He's
Yeah.
right. He has good frame. Um,
Pause.
is that is that worthy? I mean,
Oh
Continue.
my,
hey man,
I'm helping you out. Continue.
oh
hey
my
man,
days.
yo, this guy, that's crazy.
Can't be talking about a next man's frame without saying pause. But yeah, continue.
Wait, sorry there. But yeah, no, aerially, right? Uh, and I'd say even in terms of overall, like the morale, being able to, because you usually kind of look at that, right? For defenders, especially on certain plays, right? They're hounding out, like even their attacking players, right? Like showing them, you got to defend, right? Like, and if you notice too, for a defender, a clearance is sometimes is celebrated like a goal,
Mm.
right? How an offensive player would celebrate that, right? And that, bro, that shit actually gets the crowd going too, right? So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, no, I'd say even on that end, right, in terms of like boosting the morale, I saw he was hounding Konate, I think it was during that game. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Yeah, I think it was a ball that came over the top, and Konate hesitated,
Yep.
and he let him know, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's what you're looking for.
that's what he's
Yeah,
like. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, no, for me, honestly, yeah, I'd give it to Van Dijk um, above everyone else simply because of his versatility for the modern game.
Okay. Just quickly before we wrap things up, so just yeah, I put a few of the big transfers that happened today. I'm just gonna go through the list and then we can kind of spend a little bit of time talking on one or two. Isak obviously to Liverpool, total package 167 mil. Gehi to Liverpool fell through. Emi Martinez to United fell through. Piero Hincapié loaned to Arsenal. I believe it's an obligation to buy. I didn't see a fee. I might be wrong. Harvey Elliott and Jadon Sancho loaned to Villa, which that's an amazing move for Villa. Reece Nelson loaned to Brentford. Zinchenko loaned to Forest, linking up with Edu again. Garnacho, 40 mil move to Chelsea confirmed. Donnarumma, which this was hella weird. PSG to City, because you just got James Trafford. Why are you getting another? Anyways, Ederson, I believe, went to Galatasaray. Wissa, we already talked about. To Newcastle for 55. Douglas Luiz, we skipped through this. I think last week it happened. Went from Juve to Forest with an obligation to buy, so that's a huge signing for Forest. And then Javi Simons, obviously we talked about it as well. Um, so these were the ones that I picked out. I don't know if there was anything else that you fellows saw this because it was a lot of movement. Um, but I guess the biggest one is like Isak, right?
Hmm. Surely, yeah. I did tell you, fellas, man. That was only gonna end one way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if your boys' minds change. Probably not you, Laurent, but
Oh,
we're
about like
the favorites for the Prem.
fuck no.
Mine hasn't changed.
Who's
I feel
yours?
like
Oh
for
yeah, you said
Murdat,
Arsenal, right?
it's even worse for Murdat because I think Murdat is saying, well, now that you have him, how's it? I think it disrupts the system, right? Like Arnie Slot's
Hmm.
system, player management, and all that, which is interesting because now, what do you think, guys? What do you think is going to happen? I think he's going to favor over Ekitike.
Ekatike
Well, he
and
has to for that
Ekatike
money.
has been on fire. You don't buy
Hmm.
you don't buy a player for 167 mil and not put him in. If I'm Ekatike, I'm like, yo, what? I played 3 games and I've been on fire, and you're gonna let next man's come through?
Yeah,
No.
that's
And like I said, Arnie Slot has never had to man manage. And here you go. Figure it out. So for me, CJ has not changed. After watching that performance on Sunday, has not changed at
Well,
all.
watching that performance without Isak though.
That's not a problem. That's not a
Mm.
problem.
Well.
but
Uh,
so wait, what do you that move of putting Szoboszlai as a right back? You
I
know,
was gonna say call him out, Laurent, because we have to question him right out on this. Let's see if you have a response for this. I was gonna say the same thing.
What?
So putting Szoboszlai at right back, right? Like we talk about, he's inherited Klopp's team and everything that is he's done. He hasn't had to think. Or he hasn't had to make any tactical adjustments. It's all Klopp's team. This and that. Whoever would have thought Szoboszlai could play at right back, right?
I swear he played right back when he played for Hungary.
I don't know about all that.
I'll fact check it right now.
But regardless, it's like you're putting an attacking midfielder essentially, a number 8, number 10, whatever, at right back. That's like some shit Pep would do, right? When you put Bernardo Silva at left back.
mm-hmm.
No one's questioning him now for those moves, right? That's 2 games in a row against 2 big sides.
Yeah,
Szoboszlai's held it down.
but it almost didn't work out against Newcastle, and it almost didn't work against Arsenal as well. So as quickly as it's turned
You know,
to
well, almost is
work,
not.
yeah,
Almost
but
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I don't know.
Fam, just.
I'm not giving this guy plaudits. I'm not giving it any plaudits. I'm not giving this guy any plaudits at all.
So whose move was that to put him at right back? Klopp's?
I don't give yeah. For me, yeah. It's Klopp's. It's Klopp's.
That's
Nah, nah. Nah,
crazy.
you know, he just has a personal agenda, fam.
That's
I already said this. I already said I have a personal agenda against Slot. I'm not saying anything out of the ordinary.
Crazy work, bro.
So you're not you know?
hey man.
What? I've literally said it. You're not saying that out of the ordinary.
Yeah, that's
I do not rate Slot at all.
what? Mm,
I don't. And as much as you two goofs are laughing, I was at a Liverpool bar the other day watching the game. Spoke to a couple Liverpool fans. They all said last year's win was all Klopp. Had nothing to do with Slot. And those are Liverpool fans saying that.
No, that just makes no sense, bro. That
How does
just
it
makes
not
no
make
sense.
sense?
It's just not true. It just can't be true.
How could it not
Klopp
make
was not
sense?
on the touchline, not one of those 38 games. So
So
surely it wasn't
it was
Klopp who won the league.
it was Klopp's team.
But then why didn't Klopp win it the year before? The year before that? He hasn't won it since 2020, bro.
Injuries. There's injuries.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
All 5 of those years since 2020 that Klopp hasn't won is
Oh
all
my,
injuries.
we're not gonna go back. We're not gonna go back to these discussions because again, you're talking about the Centurions. You're talking about Pep at his prime, Bernardo, De Bruyne, Aguero. Like you're talking about all those players in their prime. Yes, there was the Mane, Salah, and Firmino who were also in their prime, but they were 1 point. If you change 5 points, if you change 5 points, Klopp would have been more winning than Pep in the prime. 5 points. That's it. That would have swung three of the Premier Leagues.
But what about Klopp's last year when he bottled it?
Injuries comes out to injuries.
Nah, I'm sorry, nah.
For me, comes down to injuries.
When he was down the stretch, his players were fit. When they lost to Everton and they lost, I think it was Palace back to back. Go back to those games, bro. I'm telling you, Klopp bottled the league that year. They had it. If Slot makes I'll say this again. If Slot makes tactical adjustments, right, like the Szoboszlai one now, which you're refusing to give him credit for, and the Gravenberch one. Gravenberch played with Klopp. We have not seen this version of Gravenberch under Klopp. What Slot has now done with Gravenberch, the guy's a different player now. He's one of the best defensive midfielders in the league.
I will not give him credit.
All right, then that's what I'm saying. We know all we need to know. It's nothing factual, bro. It's just a bald thing. It's a personal hate.
Has nothing to do with his ball.
Bro, then what else? There's no other reason, fam.
I just don't like the man. Has nothing to do with his physical appearance. Nothing to
This
do with his
is
physical appearance. Um, just quickly before we wrap up, prediction leaderboard. Laurent got 2 right. Chelsea and Liverpool, bringing him up to 5 points. CJ got Chelsea right, bringing him up to 5 points, and then I got Chelsea right, bringing me up to 4 points. So we're gonna take a break with the prediction series because next week there's no Premier League games as we're on the international break, and then we come back for Champions League as well as Premier League. I think the next Premier League game is the 13th of September. Um, School's back. Yikes! For all you kids that are listening, yikes! Back at school. The roads are gonna be fucking busy tomorrow. God dang. But why are you smiling, bro? Fucking putting Didier Drogba as your picture. Yo, you better change that, huh?
bro. It's too late now, bro. What do you mean?
Oh my dang, you fucking waste, man.
Scout. If I put Chris Wood, he wouldn't have said anything. And the guy's
No,
white. And the
absolutely
guy's
not.
white. Like you know what I mean? The guy's a different shade than I am. This guy wouldn't have said none. Oh my God. That's crazy.
You should change your player of the year to Chris Wood.
Fuck no, bro. What the fuck? Yo, what? Yo, has he even
Yeah, he scored.
Oh, okay. All right. Like one, right?
Yeah, I think so. 1 or 2, yeah.
Um, last word, CJ. Take us away.
Well, we signed 8 players this window. We signed Hincapié today, or whatever his name is. So welcome to the Arsenal, Pierre and Hincapié. I think it'll be another good addition. Uh, Probably one of our best windows ever. Some would say, 8 signings, all pieces that we needed. Maybe on our next podcast, since it's an international break, we rank, talk about ranking the window and was it successful, was it not? Did we complete all the pieces that we needed to? I still am of the opinion we could have done one more in the attacking areas, but again, that could be left for another discussion for a different day, depending on what you fellas think. Overall, yeah, the window is now closed, and it's just strictly down to the football. There's nothing else to talk about. There's no more transfer activity, no more transfer business. It's now the teams are what they are, at least until January, and we'll see where things land. But ultimately, my expectation, people, viewers, listeners, as an Arsenal fan, is that regardless even of that result yesterday, the expectation is that Arsenal and Arteta still need to go on and win a major trophy this year. Uh, if it's not the majors, as Murdad said, win at least 2 domestic cups. But fuck all that. Like the priority for me is still win a major. This side is now built to win a prem. We are being discussed as one of the deepest teams, if not the deepest team now in the Premier League. Rick. We have depth across all over the pitch.
Mhm.
So we're actually built now and set up to win a Premier League. Laurent said it to me the beginning of last season too. It's like, if we don't get our act together, the teams are going to start catching up. So no one's going to wait for Arsenal to finally win their next Premier League, right? The Chelseas of the world, all the other sides. So it's kind of now or never, bro. Like, I'm not going to keep waiting for next year, next year, next year. Like, I'm like, Liverpool got Isak. I'm not giving nobody a bly. Like, we need to still go out and compete and win, right? So that's where I'm at. I expect a trophy by the end of the season. I expect a major trophy as well, if I'm being harsh and honest. But it's been 20, 21 years. So Premier League, Champions League, that's what we're aiming to win, to be honest with you. And we will be there. We'll be here all season long, giving you the feedback, the content, the narrative. So watch the space and let's see how Arsenal do. But there's high expectations for the team and the manager this season. That's where I stand.
All right. Well, on that bombshell, see you guys next week.
Whoa. No other man has anything to say?
Oh, I gave you the last word.
Oh, that's nice of you. You don't want to say anything? Laurent, you don't want to say anything?
No, I mean, yeah, you summed it up
Yeah.
perfectly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Why
Thanks,
are we
boys.
gonna take away your fire, bro? Um, like I was
Like and subscribe, everyone. Remind people, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We will be back at gatherings hopefully soon. November 29th, hopefully, is the confirmed date. Oh,
Oh,
man.
that's definitely confirmed.
All right.
I know there's no objections.
Yeah. As long as you show up in that full kit.
All right, bless. Say less.
all right. Adios.
Peace.
Easy.